So, ladies and gentlemen, this interview is brought to you by Burn Up Coaching and the 21-Day Challenge. And if you're an entrepreneur or high achiever and you're committed to breaking through your plateau and reaching your next level of success, achievement, fulfillment, action, and becoming your greatest possible self, then 21-Day Challenge might be the perfect thing for you. What we'll do is get clear on your dream life, your purpose, why you're here, what you're doing, and how you're doing it. We'll break it down into bite-sized steps so that in a year you have crystal clear goals, and we break that down into 3-month goals, 1-month goals, 1-week goals, so that it's more doable and applicable for you, so that you can break it down so you're not so overwhelmed. So make sure you take that on the 21-Day Challenge. If you're interested and committed, send me a message, facebook.com/th3burns. And also you can send me an email, chris@beyourgps.com, and let me know you're interested in that and committed to becoming your greatest possible self and doing the 21-Day Challenge. Next is the iTunes review of the week, and that is by the one and only Yvonne Larson, whose birthday is today, so we're celebrating that, and also the release of her podcast, playtowinpodcast.com. So go ahead and go over to that and visit that when you get a chance, because she is awesome. She's actually on right after Sharon and Hank, who are coming on right now in another minute or two, and they're going to rock it, and she's going to rock it. So stick around. We got a lot of really, really great interviews. And Yvonne said, passion, focus, inspiring. I've met lots of people who say they're committed to transforming the world. This guy, what? Seriously, he is no joke. His weekly 12-hour marathons are packed with valuable, reliable, and practical tools and resources. He is meticulous about curating the best guests. He is like the Energizer Bunny. He keeps going and going and going. I'm proud and honored to know such an amazing man. So, Yvonne, thank you so much for the review. And if you want to give us a review, search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on iTunes or visit beyourgps.com/iTunes. Or you can go on Facebook and search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self there. Either place you decide to give us a review, we appreciate it, we look at it, we integrate it, and make sure that we're always growing and improving to be our greatest possible self. Thank you in advance for doing that. Now, for the man and woman of the hour, oh my goodness, I was just on their show. I believe it was like last week or the week before. I think it was last week. It was so much fun. It was awesome, and their energy is amazing. They ask really great questions, and I know there's going to be some huge gold and value in this. So make sure you stick around, because Sharon and Hank are going to be rocking the house for the next hour and giving us some really, really great stuff. So when it comes to getting expert help for your business coaches Hank and Sharyn Yuloff are coming to you with a very unique perspective. He has a 30-plus year background in advertising, marketing, sales, and public relations. She is an online marketing and human resources expert. This means they figure out everything from discovering your most profitable demographics to creating effective messaging and tactics to solving employee issues. Sounds like the freaking dynamic combo that everyone needs and requires. Their company, Yuloff Creative, is a complete marketing services firm offering traditional and technological marketing plans for small companies just like yours. They have been called a marketing incubator, helping small business owners create a marketing path and then guiding them along that road to success. They were marketing expert presenters in an entrepreneurial video series with Brian Tracy, filmed in 2016, and last year were selected as America's #1 coaching team for small businesses. And we are blessed to have them here with us today. How about it, Hank and Sharon? You guys ready to rock this?
They sound great. I hope I get to hear them today. Oh my goodness. Hey, I need to take just a couple seconds to introduce, because we are recording this as well for our radio show, The Marketing Checklist.
Love it.
So let me give just about a 10-second intro. Hey, Marketing Checklist listeners, we are here, and here's what's going on. We're being interviewed, so you get to hear us being interviewed. Right now, this show is going to go live when we are in Europe. So we're pre-recording this show because we're taking a trip, because we've known each other for 30 years. All yours, man.
I love it. Well, that's so cool. I love the power of technology and how it connects us. And that bridges us right into our very first opening question, which is our all-connected universe. And I want to know, Sharon and Hank, how has this concept of our all-connected universe impacted your lives? How has it played a role in you becoming who you are and developing your marketing skills and abilities, your company? How has it played a role in your life?
Well, let's start with that. Go back 20, 30, 40 years, okay? Just forget 100 years. And you're in a position where most of your clients, most of the people that you interact with on a business point of view are in your own little village. Now, granted, our village several years ago was Los Angeles, but still.
Right.
But now we just finished our marketing boot camp, and we had people from 6 different states that came to Sedona and Los Angeles to take part in them.
That's awesome.
So they found us on the internet. And that's where the conversation started. They were looking for marketing help, and they tracked us down. So this electronic universe that we all get to play on makes the entire world a little bit smaller.
Wow. Anything to add to that, Sharon?
That
was
sure.
great. That was
that's
beautiful.
not at all where I would have gone with that answer, because it's not the way I heard the question. Isn't that interesting?
Well, you answer it however you want, babe.
It's interesting how we hear, you have said exactly the same thing, but we hear it differently, right?
Yeah.
And I do try to always be careful when I'm talking even to clients to not say you didn't say that, but to say I didn't hear that. What I heard was, right? So what I heard you ask is, how are we all connected universally? And I was going to take you back 30 years. As Hank said, we've known each other 30 years. 30 years ago, we both wandered into this little temple, 60 families. We were the only single people there. The cantor introduced us. I mean, if that's not the universe putting us where we're supposed to be, then I don't know what is.
Wow. There's one more part to add to that. That night she called the guy she was dating and dumped him. Just want to share that. Want to put that out there.
Wait, I want to hear more about that story. Give us more details. We're already there. Let's dive in.
Okay, well, so I asked the cantor, I said, who's the hot chick in the front row with the brown pants and the nice ass? And she took me up and introduced me to Sharon. And that pretty much was it.
I was just not the.
Well, we're recording this, aren't I?
We are.
Oh man, shoot! Sorry about the ass thing.
It's all good. Hey, we have a swearing positive culture here, so whatever you want to say.
The guy I was seeing at the time was not as into me as I was into him. He kept trying to pawn me off on his friends, and I was not the dating around kind of person. So my feeling was, well, he's not that interested in me. And if there's really something that's going to happen here, I want to be available and not tied up with this other thing. So so I called him and said, we're done. And he said, yeah, I figured. Okay.
Hank's like, score.
Yeah, baby. Sales 101.
Sales.
Provide what the client needs.
I love it. You guys are awesome. I love your sense of humor. That's the one thing that I really, really picked up is you're so self-expressed. You're so just being you and having fun in everything that you do on your show, and just, being interviewed. Like I already feel it. And I just know that it's so much fun with you. So thank you so much for who you are, making business, making marketing, something that a lot of people really suck at making it fun. You guys are really good at it. So thank you for doing that and bringing your joy and fun to it.
We always say if we're not having fun, then we're doing something wrong.
That's right.
It's funny. We do our 3-day marketing boot camps, and we always look. We want to get one laugh for every couple of minutes. We're trying to keep it going.
Yes.
We know that if we can keep them laughing, they're going to be learning.
That's good. Keep them laughing. They'll keep learning. I love it. So tell us a little bit more about your company, Yuloff Creative, and the marketing that you do today. And just a little bit more of an overview. I mentioned it in the intro, but from your own perspective, tell us more about it.
Tell you what, rock, paper, scissors?
No, just do it.
Okay, fine.
Unless it's Spock, but
yeah. We started, the company started 20-something years ago. Okay. And I'd been working for somebody else, and you know how things just don't work out sometimes?
Yep.
Came to Thanksgiving dinner, and we're going around the table at my family's house. It came to me, I'm talking about what's going on with Sharon and I, and I'm about to pass it off to my sister. My mom said, well, wait a minute, you didn't talk about work at all. So I got to lay out the story and everything that was going on, because I was a regional sales manager for a company. And she said, well, what would it take for you to start your own company? Ooh, a silence upon the room. And I laid out what it would take. Really what it would take is I'd need a fax machine, because the one I had belonged to the company I worked for. She turned to my dad and said, write him a check. Wow. And from that point, okay, I'm taking a leap, jumping into the deep water and starting my own company. And most of my clients, in fact, I didn't lose one client, and most of them said, "What took you so long?" So I was like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" So fast forward a bunch of years, and Sharon, I was able to steal Sharon out of at that time the entertainment industry. She had gone back and was working way too many hours.
Mm,
You know, we're talking, when you're an entrepreneur, a 12, 13, 14-hour day, it's like, eh. But when
right.
you're doing it for somebody else and it's 16 hours,
Mm,
so I kind of stole her back. This is the short version.
It is.
And for the last 7 years, it's been awesome because we get to work together.
yeah.
Some of our clients, some of the clients I work more with, some of the clients she works more with, but we're all in it together,
Mhm.
and it's been spectacular. We know, Sharon doesn't have to ask a boss for us to take an 11-day cruise in Europe to celebrate 30 years together.
That's right.
I don't have
That's
to
right.
wait for her to ask her damn boss if she can take a vacation.
That's right.
We set it and we go. We call, all of our clients know, look, we're going to be off the phone, but we check email. Our rule is we check email twice a day when we're on vacation, morning and afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the time, you're not going to get us.
Right.
But they know, and they're willing to play along. So it came together in such a way that Sharon brought to the table that she had been in human resources, and that was really just another form of marketing.
Yeah.
I thought for a long time, I thought he was the marketing guy. I didn't know anything about marketing. And as I got to overhear some of the conversations he was having with his clients, I realized it was the same conversations I was having with my employees in my office, that because I was working for a small business. So, it was all, HR is really just internal marketing. I'm either marketing the employee to the employer or vice versa, unless I'm putting an ad. But with a small business, there's not that big of a turnover. I don't spend my days putting an ad out. So HR is internal marketing.
Wow. That's awesome.
And we're able to teach that to a lot of our clients. It's interesting with bringing that into the company, bringing the human resources, hiring an HR expert, and giving her 50% of the company right off the bat. It truly opened up a whole other level for us as far as what we could do for clients. And it's been amazing.
Yeah, I admire couples who go into the same business and they have different strengths, and like I know this one couple, Nicholas and Amanda Bayerly, they're out here in Southern California, and they have this company, $1 Billion Body, and Nicholas is just so on point in terms of his sales, in terms of his presentation. He put on a live event, 2 live events in the last 2 years, and they've been awesome. And I know Amanda is like the grounding and the foundation beneath him that helps him make that possible, right? Like without her, like he wouldn't have that drive. He wouldn't have that capacity to serve as many people, because I'm sure she's helping him with follow-ups and, making sure he's on task and organized and all these kinds of things. So I can only imagine what it's done for your business. And I know for me and my girlfriend, we've only been dating for about like 7 months now. And I know that's one of our big aspirations, is to come together in our businesses in the future, because we both feel like we want to do that so much and want to support each other and want to work in the same or similar space and be able to serve clients in a combined way that delivers like 10x value than 1 + 1. It's not 1 + 1, it's like 10x, right? So it's really cool that you guys are doing that, and I'm really excited to learn about what's worked for you and how, as a couple, entrepreneur couple, we can do this and be more effective at it. So thank you for showing up and just being you.
So first of all, so 7 months.
Yeah.
All right. So when's it happening, brother? Just ask it. Gotta ask her. It's just you and me. Nobody's listening. So when's that happening?
It's a great question, man.
I know it is. I ask the best kind of questions, because if nothing says teamwork more than wedding bells.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing.
Yeah. That's good perspective. Good thing to keep in mind.
Let's put the host on the spot.
I love it. Yeah, no, she totally is my dream woman though. I journaled about her. I
Uh-huh.
freaking called her in. I created her out of nothing. So for right now, we're keeping our relationship not even on social media. I don't know about you, but in today's day of social media, there's a lot of things that can be misconceived or like misconstrued, and social media just makes things not private anymore, which can bring a whole nother level of I don't want to say vulnerability, but just stuff that doesn't work in life and romance and relationships. So we're taking it a little bit slower in terms of making things public and announcing it all over the place. So I think that when we're ready to share about it, then that's something else that is exciting for us. No, we're so excited, dude. I want to make freaking videos with her on Facebook Live, and
Yes.
it's just
You're on now. Come on.
there's certain steps, there's certain procedures to go through.
It is one of the things that we teach. We do teach about what to post and what not to post on social media. And one of the things that we teach not to post is about the drama in your relationship. People don't need to, especially if you, granted, we're talking about for business, right? You're a businessman. Your audience are business people. Our audience are business people. Your business people audience don't want to hear about the drama happening in your life. So well done.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I know when we're ready to do it, people are going to be so ecstatic and excited about the news and all that good stuff. And what I really want to get into is the meat and potatoes of how you guys got to where you are today. What were some of the key defining moments in building the business, together? What were some of the challenges that you had to overcome to get to where we are today? It could be, Hank, since you started this a little bit earlier, you can tell about those singular, when it was just kind of you building the business, some of those challenges. And then we can move into together. What were some of the challenges in building, I think in the last 7 years, you said?
We can do that.
Cool.
Or, I almost took over. It was, I had a whole other place to start. In fact, I'm going to start there. I want to give one example, more current, and then go back.
Sure. I'm cool with that.
Because when you're blending business, from the two singular, we were asked to be on someone's. I need to keep this generic. Their show.
Okay.
And I kept saying, "Awesome, we'll be there at such and such a time. We'll be there at the date. We're ready, and we'll get you questions." And it kept coming back to me, Hank. We'll see you. And I say, "Well, wait a minute. It's Sharon and I."
Mm-hmm.
And the comment that came back was, "Well, gee, Hank, why is it just you on the book cover?" Oh, God. So what had happened it started writing books, and marketing checklist came out, then the marketing checklist too. And it was just me, because we knew there was an HR book coming, soon. And Sharon was going to be on the cover of that, and.
Right.
And it got put to us very bluntly, if you two are the brand, you best start branding everything together.
Wow.
So we're not perfect. We have blinders. And that's just that gives you an idea of a challenge we overcome. So we went back, took a couple of chapters out of the book. Sharon wrote a couple of chapters into it. So now she can be on the cover of all of them. Right. Just like the HR book, I wrote a couple of chapters from being a sales manager point of view for a large company. And now I get to be on the cover. So everything that we do, when it's our radio show, when it's our books, when everything,
an interview,
it's rare that you won't see us together. I did one radio show alone because Sharon was doing some other event, and it felt really weird to not wait for Sharon to answer and chime in. So that's it's a never-ending process, but now going way back, having to handle all of it, from the procurement to the part that I hated was the billing part. All of the paperwork, which Sharon's great at, handles it all. It's like, oh my gosh. That was a blessing and a challenge, because she wasn't doing it and she was going to start, but still I was set in my ways. So it was a matter of, okay, I know you're going to have your ways, but don't ask any questions for the first 6 months. And and as you can probably tell, Sharon is very willing to share when she sees how to improve something. So that was probably the biggest challenge, but it happened really fast, and that 6 months turned into about 30 days. And I realized she was right.
Yep.
And it moved. We know which parts we're real strong on. I do far more graphics than she does. When it comes to an HR question, I'm passing the ball over.
Totally.
And if it's a sales question, I'll generally take that. If it's messaging, we both work on it. Sharon knows a whole lot more about online tools because she's always investigating them. And then when she finds something cool, she says, "Hey, check this out." So
yeah, she's good at research, like behind the scenes, all that good stuff. And you're like, boom, let's drive it home.
and when we talk to clients on the phone, we have our client meetings. She's the one taking notes, and it's like, wow. And we never even had the conversation that she was going to do it.
She just
started taking notes.
This is what I do.
And I noticed this right away, and it was, wow, that's a darn good idea, babe.
How else will I remember by next week what it was we talked about?
See,
that's
I'm
right.
pretty good at that. But now it's like, well, if you're going to take notes, cool.
Clients start meshing together. Wait, did you say you were doing that event, or was that somebody else? I didn't know.
And we just in our last boot camp, we just brought on.
I love it. In the beginning, I'm curious. In the beginning, how did you know what each was going to focus on? Like how to share responsibilities or that kind of thing? You just like
we didn't. I thought clearly incorrectly that as was typical for my life beforehand, he was going to be the front guy and I'm admin and back office because I'm not really on the stage kind of gal.
Right.
We changed that.
But he had a different vision, and he kind of brought me kicking. I wasn't screaming. I was reticent.
Yeah, at one of our boot camps, I was generally on stage, and she was off to the side with a microphone, and she would add comment. And since we were videoing it, and she was going to answer a question, I said, "Well, why don't you come up here and answer that so we get you on video, straight on, kind of like here." And as she came on, I just kind of left and left her alone there for about an hour. It was great. I was having a great time in the back. She was ready to kill me.
What was that like? What was that like for you, Sharon? Being on that stage.
Not happy. I knew the answers to the question. I just didn't like being alone on stage.
She owned the room.
Right. Don't believe her. Don't believe it.
It was topics she knew. She had it cold. She answered every question. She nailed it.
Wow.
So I was able to go in the back, have lunch, do my nails. Yeah, it was great. But we found quickly it does work to our advantage to be together. We started our radio show 4 years ago. We're at almost show 200.
Wow. Congrats.
And if you listen to show number 2, because that was the one that went out first, it sucks because it's me talking for an hour. And we realized within the first 2 shows that Sharon, babe, instead of sitting there looking pretty and listening and just being supportive, I'm going to have to, bring you in. So now she's speaking in front of a microphone. At least it wasn't video, so it was okay. And it got better real fast.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So how did you know what to delegate each task to? Did you just jump up and say, I got this? Like is there any system that you recommend?
There's rarely a battle. It's really more of a, did you already do this? If not, I'm going to do it. Or I got this one, whatever. It's not really a big deal.
Yeah, I think that the only time it really happens, we share one of our emails we both have access to. And sometimes it's, did you answer that? Or am I supposed to answer that? And we're not always great about communicating which one of us is going to answer that particular email, or if we saw it. So we have to constantly communicate on that. But there are certain things that we're just each good at.
Yeah.
I'm on the graphic side, and she's on the electronic side. I mean, it's real clear.
Yeah.
It's not real clear in describing it.
Yeah.
Like if you made me say how we divvy up our work, right? I would say, if you're going to make me put us in a box, I'm going to say he's more offline and I'm more online, but it's not really that clear cut. It's just that I feel like I have to have an answer. It's not that clear cut. It's not. It's clear cut on individual tasks, but not on a global scope.
Yeah. So for a couple who might be listening right now, or someone who's listening and wants to improve their couple partnership, what would you recommend to them as far as getting clear on that and being effective with that?
Play to your strengths. Pay attention to who's strong at what, and play to your strengths. Don't take the time to think. Like, for example, Hank's good at graphics. Why am I going to waste my time in learning how to get better at graphics when he's right here? Right? I can use my time to work in my strengths. Let me answer someone else's question that's in my strength while he's doing the graphics. Yeah, don't spend the time to try to get better at something you're weak at if your partner is already great at that something else.
You know, really important that I would share, if you're a couple and you're working together. We have 2 or 3 examples. We tend to look for and watch couples that are working together, and make sure that the drama never goes public. You will only hear Sharon and I edify each other in public. I will tell you now, she is smarter, she's better looking, she's cuter, she is everything better than me. And we've heard couples go on stage they may joke in a different way, but they'll say things like, well, I'm the smart one. It's like, oh my God. So understand that if people are looking to work with you, they're looking and they're watching. So we always make sure that, you know, we always, we're the same on stage as off.
Yeah.
You could hang with us anytime and you're going to see the same personalities. We try and make sure that we're that, but we always make sure that when we are on stage, we're watching, and no slip ups, because sometimes, you know, we've had arguments. We've had a couple.
Over 30 years.
Ask us what our first date was. Hey, you know, what car should we buy? Hey, you know. But none of the big stuff.
Yeah.
Which bank should we? I don't care, babe.
I don't care.
You know,
that's awesome.
Figure out which hills you want to die on and which you don't, and let them go with it.
Man, that's powerful. So if someone wants to communicate more effectively with their partner, spouse, person, what would you recommend as better ways to communicate, or better systems, or better ways to create that flexibility that you two have almost so naturally?
Ooh, I've got a good one.
Okay, go ahead. So
before we got married, you know, married, that's when you're together, you ask the person to marry. Just sharing that with you. One of the silly things that used to happen is that one of us would ask the question of another, like in the other room, and then get pissed when there wasn't an answer. And it's like, and we figured out, we went to counseling for the year before we got married, working on communication, this exact question. And it really came down to the other one just hadn't heard it. Kind of silly, right?
Yeah.
So the question, so when one of us asks a question of the other, we either answer it or you say thinking, so that the other person knows you heard it, but you're just thinking. And then if neither of those happens, you know they didn't hear you. And that one little thing.
It's a big thing.
It's huge.
And you know what? And it's translated to clients, because now we do it all the time. I mean, I did it when I was working in office and HR as well, with my supervisors or my employees, my colleagues. You know, we did it so much together that then it just translated into everything. So now someone asks me a question, if I have to think about it, and I realize, oh wait, this is a really long pause. I have to say thinking.
Let me think on that a moment.
And so our client, especially since most of our clients are then over the phone, you know, they don't, did the call drop? What happened? Right. So you got to tell them what happened. So what happened is, oh wait, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Wow, I love this. And one of the other things I do is if someone's doing a task on the other end of a phone call and I can't see it, like they're typing something up, like occasionally update someone, like saying, hey, you know, okay, I'm typing this out. Okay, I'm on to the next line, almost done. You know, okay, right. Finishing up, you know, like give people that heads up. That's so powerful to be aware of. Hey, there's someone else who's expecting some kind of communication, some kind of, you know, signal. Give it to them. Like even if it's not done, let them know where you're at.
Absolutely.
Then there's the old "don't go to bed mad."
Yep.
You're
like, eh.
We sometimes do, right? Sometimes, because then the other side is sometimes you need to take a break.
Yeah, totally.
And sleeping on it, sometimes when you wake up the next day, you know, but it really wasn't all that important. It felt important because we were tired and in the moment of it. But now it's like, you know what, it really wasn't that important. So sometimes it does mean just, okay, wait, pause, go to sleep, we'll talk about it tomorrow, right? Yeah. But part of what's unique for us is we don't have kids, right? So we don't have that.
That saves $250,000 each, just sharing.
And a whole lot of arguments.
And a whole lot of arguments.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. We don't have to have any of those arguments.
But it means that we don't have a firm, okay, 5 o'clock, that's it. Now it's family time.
Oh, still right? Not happening.
Maybe if we had kids, we would have to do that, but it's just us.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is that we agree, right? So we don't have to have that firm rule, right? If one of us felt like that we needed a firm rule and the other one was like, well, but I don't, now we'd have a whole thing we have to work out. Luckily, we're fine with that, right? Okay, well, dinner time. So we take a break, we have dinner, we're still, go back to work. Okay, now it's, how much longer do you need before we can go upstairs and go to bed?
Right.
I need 10 more minutes. Got it. 10 more. Okay, I'll do this next task for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and we'll watch TV while we're doing. We're not. Right now. In our house here, we each use a different part of the house.
Oh, I love it.
For our office.
For our office.
Yeah, 100%.
And it works kind of well, but at a certain point, I end up invading her office because that's where the TV is. Hi, my name's Hank. I'm a TV holic, and I run the DVR. That's one of my jobs is to program the DVR.
And during the day, I don't mind if it's not on. I'm in the TV room just because that's where I can sit with a cat in my lap. Whereas in the office, the cat doesn't fit in my lap in the office chair. So I stay there rather than moving my computer around the house. But I don't really care if the TV's on or not. It's more him. So he comes into the TV room when he's done with his office time. But he has his laptop open because now it's laptop TV time.
Right.
Hey, I have a really good communication skill.
Sure.
That Sharon brought into the relationship. If one of you has a question for the other, ask if they're interruptible. It is huge.
Wow.
Because sometimes I might be working on something where I'm like writing a blog and I'm searching for the word, and to be able to say, give me a minute. Or Sharon's working on a project and I say, hey, and she's like, give me a minute. It so helps. We heard each other.
Right.
Are you interruptible? Not yet. But we know it's the equivalent of 1 moment, please. Dun, 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 dun,
right.
It becomes very important to us.
Your question is very important to me.
And we'll get to it. Right as soon as something very important. But that's a huge thing, and it happens, I don't know, half a dozen times a day.
Yeah.
So just think, there's half a dozen times a day where we don't have the stop it, or I lost it.
Bothering me.
Exactly. We get bothered more by the cats than we do each other.
I love it. I love it. So I want to
have a mute button.
I want to dive into like, what are your secrets or practices for productivity, for maximum productivity? What keeps you guys the most productive and able to get the most done, work with as many clients as possible, and really just be high performers?
Time blocking.
Oh, God, yeah.
The calendar is our friend.
Yes.
Everything goes on the calendar. It's especially now that we've been using a scheduling tool. So if rather than sending email back and forth with someone, are you available on this day and this time? No, not. But how about this day? Oh my goodness, here. Just go to this link.
Totally.
Look at my calendar.
Book
Find
in.
time that
Yes.
works for you. Just do it, right?
Yes.
It's so much easier. But in order to do that, that means I have to be really diligent about putting things on the calendar when we're not interruptible. And I have messed up. There are times when I have to go back to someone and go, I'm so sorry.
Me too.
I messed up.
Yeah.
I should have blocked this and I didn't, and now I have to ask you to reschedule. But I've gotten so much better. There's a lot less times when I have to do that.
And here, let me show you something. Let's see. We just got this.
Oh my goodness. They're not gonna be able to see
There's
it.
nothing on it, but this is our wall calendar.
Oh.
Half the wall
This is
calendar.
half of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. So we had one that was this big.
No.
That one is this big. And
it's
sorry.
It's huge.
We
actually.
block out all of our events.
Yeah.
It's like boot camps go on first. When we're working with our coaches, goes on there because we have 3 of them. All of the monthly stuff that we have to do, and as you put all of that into the big calendar, it makes things very clear as far as, okay, what times do we have to add things in?
Yeah.
And then when clients are coming to Sedona, that gets blocked right away, so we have that time blocked out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I just have to translate it to the electronic calendar. So that everything.
We really do live by the calendar. It's very important. Especially because we do have so much going on, and we're about to onboard 10 new clients.
Dang.
So
that's awesome.
It's going to get a little crazy.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And I love the time blocking too. And you mentioned you have a scheduling system. What I found really valuable is the one I use. I use Acuity. I'm not sure. What do you guys use?
We use Schedule Once.
Schedule Once.
See,
okay.
You could have asked me that question. I would have had no idea what the answer is.
We used to use.
I would have said, I don't know, something Sharon found.
We used to use Time Trade, and Time Trade worked really well for years, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But now we have a CRM that we use, and Time Trade didn't match with that, and we needed to do that tagging and segmenting our list.
Yep.
Right? Who did schedule? Who actually made it? Right? So I had to make a decision as to what I was going to change to in order to work with the CRM.
Do you realize I'm in the sun still and you're in the shade?
Yes.
I'm looking at the little box up there and I'm realizing I'm still in the sun and Sharon's here. There we go. I'm just going to move up here now.
I love it. One of the things I found valuable about Acuity is when I put something on my electronic calendar, is it would close off those appointment dates and time availability just on my iCal, and it would update on there. So I'm sure your guys does the same thing. It's so awesome just to be able to have that electronic flexibility. Just boom, boom, boom. Move things around. Okay, don't got to worry about anyone scheduling anything in there anymore, and just have that peace of mind is so amazing.
And it's best that I don't touch the personal calendar. It's best that I ask.
Yeah.
Like when somebody says, when it's a personal thing, and somebody says, "Hey, do you guys want to have dinner?" I'm like, "That would be great. Let me run that past Sharon as far as picking a time."
That's right.
We're respectful of the other one, because you only have to make that mistake a couple of times.
Oh
it's
yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, I feel you. I love it. So in terms of, getting the best performance out of each other, Hank, what are some things that you do to really make sure that Sharon is performing at her optimal level? And then I'll ask the same thing of Sharon.
I make sure she knows how much she's appreciated.
That was a good answer.
Baby, you're the best.
That was a really good answer.
I love you, and
Aw.
you've made my life so much better, and working with you is a joy. Honestly, you know, that's probably number one.
Yeah.
Being available to answer whatever questions she has, and we each teach each other some of the things that we're good at, just so we're able to comprehend. But make sure that the other one knows they're appreciated.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Hank.
And
that's real. I love it.
She does the cleaning of the kitchen. So
Yep.
we work to our strengths.
Uh-huh.
I hate cleaning dishes, and she doesn't mind. So hey, that just worked.
I like plant fields. I just want it to magically appear, and it does.
That's right. I love it. So, Sharon, how do you empower Hank to be his best?
You know, yeah, I don't. I don't need to do that. That's not. I don't need to play that role.
Tessie's saying hello.
Oh,
this is our newest addition. This is Tessie.
so cute.
Don't teach her that.
I'm not. I'm just for the moment.
No, she doesn't understand at the moment.
You can see that they agree on everything.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, the other day she was in a meeting, and I'm sitting at this table doing some work, and I'm making phone calls, and all of a sudden the cat jumps up and just walks across to sit on my lap, and I'm like, oh, don't tell mom. You know? Which is one of the reasons why not having children, because one of us is still 12.
I love it. So Sharon,
I think the thing I struggle with in that framework is how to follow up. I sometimes feel like I'm out of the loop, right? Did something get done? Did it not get done? Do I even need to worry? Like maybe it's not even something that needs to be on my radar, but it's on my radar. And it's how do you follow up without feeling like a nag? Right? But I had the same challenge when I was working in an office, because I spent some time as an executive assistant, and I had a boss I had to manage as well. It was the same sort of feeling of, okay, how do I ask him, did that get done? Yeah. Or when is the right time to follow up on that without nagging him? Yep. Because I was typically a male supervisor. So it's the same struggle. Just now it's a husband, so it adds an extra layer of angst.
So what have you found works in terms of your approach? How do you approach that in different ways? Be delicate, be kind, be understanding about it. How does that work?
Sometimes it's just being really clear. Okay, I just need a yes or no. This is not you don't need to go stop what you're doing and go do this if it's just a yes or no, so I can move it along in the tickler file.
Perfect.
Sometimes it's
did you respond to Cynthia?
Right. Or, in today's tickler file is the reminder to do this when is the right time to move it forward? Oh, actually, no, I need to call them today. I mean, it depends on what the issue is, right?
Yeah. So for you guys, I know your strength is marketing, and you mentioned about a CRM. I'm curious, what is a CRM done for you in terms of building your business and being effective with sales and your own marketing effectiveness?
You mean a customer relationship manager?
Yep.
It's better than rubber band marketing. You get that stack of business cards, and then they're on your desk, and you gather them together. Yep. And you put a rubber band around them because you got to call them. It gets you a little bit more focused. And not to say that the electronic has to work. You can take that same business card, staple it to a sheet of paper, and then take notes every time you call the person back, and use accordion files and file them accordingly. It doesn't have to be electronic, as long as you find a system that works for you and you're willing to stay up on.
Mm.
You know, at our boot camp, we taught
Just that.
We just taught. Okay, for those of you who don't want to put it on your calendar, this is an accordion file. Oh dear. And some of the people were like, really?
Other people were like,
Marketing
oh, that was brilliant.
Business coaches, huh? Huh. From like what, 1964?
We use that system for other, right? We use the CRM for some things.
Yeah.
But there are some things that are paper generated. Well, where am I going to put it? Well, I'm going to put it in a tickler file.
Mm. Yeah. I love it. I love it. So I want to dive more into the marketing principles that you guys have some experience with, because it's all a one big experiment. I love it. So
hey, if it doesn't work, make sure you stop and go a different direction. You know, some stuff you gotta try.
That's right.
Marketing is definitely testing.
Yeah.
Yes, it totally is. So what are some key fundamental principles that you always recommend or would strongly recommend for our audience who's listening right now of solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, you know, direct sales coaches, authors, speakers, all that kind of stuff?
Wow, that's a whole big wide variety of people you're asking about.
That's okay.
Yep.
We always start with knowing your ideal client. That's really,
Okay.
that's the very first step, no matter what your specialty is.
Mhm.
Right? Yes, maybe it's true that everybody could use your service, but not everybody will. So
Mhm.
let's focus on who's your ideal. Who do you like to work with? Who are you already attracting?
Cattails is flipping across.
Yep.
Start with that. And then, okay, so now that we know who's the ideal, now let's work on the message. What's the message that attracts that ideal client? It's always better to be attracting than chasing.
Mhm.
And
But
then,
she's chasing the cat. Why don't I just put her down on the
she's fine. And then again, it's where do we put that message to attract that ideal client?
You know, marketing, it's a science of choice. It's putting the right message in the right place at the right time so that when the person, your ideal client, is looking for it, where they would normally look for such things, your message is already there. At our boot camps, we teach one of our avatars. We have several different target markets, and one of them is named Harriet.
Mhm.
So once we explain what your ideal client is and how to choose it and put it together and find him, her, them, we name it Harriet. So we spend the rest of the 3 days, okay, is that what your Harriet wants? Is that what your target, rather than keeping using the word target market, it's just, we want to put a face on it. Just like if you know who your avatar is, for example, our, Harriet, 45 to 60 years old, the right-hand person of the man, and I've met her like a dozen times. She's the right-hand man of the guy that owns the company. He's generally in sales, and she runs everything else. Anybody that says anything negative about her, guess who gets fired, her or them? Because he knows. Self-designates as Christian, though one of them was Jewish. A couple of, 2.5 kids. Vacations usually revolve around the grandkids. Self-designates as Christian. I mean, we know who Harriet is. So when we meet Harriet, we know exactly what she needs from us. And we don't have to ask her. Oh, okay. In the promotional product side, for example, because we still own a company that puts logos on stuff. Needs samples a certain way, products a certain way. When she calls, it's going to be a brief phone call. She's way too much to do to chit chat.
Right.
Very direct. So when you know who your target market is, who your Harriet is, it makes everything you do easier because all of your messaging, you're talking to Harriet. You're not, what should I say in that ad? What?
Right. We always say, picture your Harriet. Yeah. Really hold that picture and then talk to that person. Use the you, use all that languaging that you would do if your Harriet was sitting right there.
By the way, Harriet is named for my grandfather, but the avatar is a woman. So instead of Harry, it's Harriet. So
just
to name it after my grandfather because my grandfather was the salesman of the family. So
that's awesome. Good Good background story that we needed to know.
People always wonder, why is it Harry?
That's right.
And we've had people go through our boot camps when I didn't tell that story, and they're wondering for 2 days.
Harry.
So we get to then they don't. Then their minds can open and they're okay.
I love it. So when people get their marketing right, what does that open up for their business and the possibilities?
Profit,
Yeah,
sales.
it's like,
I mean,
just makes everything easier, right?
yeah. You know, once you know who your target market is, everything that you do is far easier because you're having a conversation, and it isn't mass marketing, but it can be mass marketing to a lot of the same person, and it becomes far easier.
It's also easier to then discern, do I run that ad? Do I do that activity? Do I sponsor that event? Right? Because it's all about, well, who's your Harriet? Is Harriet going to be there? Is Harriet going to see that message? Because if she's not, then the answer is no. And now you can save that dollars for something else that Harriet will be there.
You know, as an example, we love working with small business owners. You know, it is that 1 to 20 or so employees. They are experts at what they do, but they weren't taught how to market what they do. So that's one of ours. So for us, when one of the chambers of commerce that we're members of has an opening for a sponsorship of one of their lunches or breakfasts, it's like, I tell them, make us your first call. If we get a chance to speak to our Harriet, heck yeah. That's like that's a no-brainer. Don't have to worry about it. Book it. Done.
Yeah.
You know, every day that ends in Y.
I love it.
So when you have it dialed in, it makes it easier to choose which tactics to use.
Yeah. Powerful. So there's a lot less guessing. Take out the guessing of business, which a lot of people are struggling with. It's like, I don't know, should I do this or should I not? And it's like, okay, well, figure out who you're serving, crystal clear on them, and then run it through that filter.
Yes.
Yeah, and you do have to understand that sometimes you can use one particular tactic. Let's say direct mail, just for the heck of it.
Okay.
You can use a particular direct mail piece over and over and over and over and over, and then it rains and your piece doesn't get delivered that day. And okay, so something changed. So you have to be very diverse in what you're doing, because sometimes there's just a hiccup.
Yeah.
And you know, it isn't like when the temperature goes down, you know, it's going to snow. It's not that logical or not that predictable or instantaneous. But you have to understand that the market does change, and sometimes the things that you do to market will change.
Yeah. Wow.
So you need more than one tactic.
Yeah.
Powerful. So we're beginning to wrap up, Sharon and Hank. And what
are
are
we
the final wisdom pieces?
Wait, I have a question. You do this for like 12 hours, right?
That's right.
Because if you're feeling the need to, you know, I've seen you drinking. We could just run the show for a while for you if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
I appreciate the offer. And
just take a quick break.
I got this. Champing it out.
that actually happened. We were on a radio show, and the host was Skyping in, and we were Skyping in. He lost his Skype link, so we ended up running his show for 40 minutes. It was funny.
Oh my goodness.
Well, just turned into the marketing checklist, you know.
That's so awesome.
So just feel free if you're feeling that urge.
Thank you, Hank.
Waterfalls, rain.
You're so stop.
So final pieces of wisdom. What can we give our audience?
Can we give them something?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Let's see. How about 30 minutes? If you go to freemarketingconsultation.com, you can check out the scheduling system we use, and you take a short assessment and you get us on the phone for 30 minutes. But here's the deal. If you make sure you tell us where you heard about us, like here, and we'll send you 2 of our marketing books. We'll send you the digital versions of 2 of them.
Sweet.
And you can decide which 2. In fact,
Love
the HR book is coming out in October. You might want that.
In fact, if you have an HR issue, you can do a free HR consultation. Same thing.
Yeah, Sharon will talk more than I will, but
I love it. Awesome.
Stay in your lane.
And then how do people stay connected with you in general?
Let's see. Actually, we should do that together. 1, 2, 3. In general.
You know what? We're all over the place. Just look for Yuloff Creative.
Start there, yuloffcreative.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
On social media, since it's a very unusual name, Yuloff, we're on most of the platforms. Facebook, we're all over it.
Okay.
LinkedIn.
We're everywhere. If you can't find us, you're not trying.
Yeah. If you want a couple of 100 hours of radio stuff, go to the marketingchecklist.com and they're all there. So we have tons of free content out there.
Rocking. I love it, guys. Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your wisdom.
Thank you.
I appreciate
this was fun.
you.
So
yes.
You're awesome.
Do you want to practice that? Hey, babe, question. You want to practice popping the question?
7 months, Hank. 7 freaking months.
I understand, but you said you manifested her and made her come true.
Yeah.
You've heard the song, put a ring on it, brother. Best decision I ever made. Number 1 decision.
I believe
and
it.
She said yes. And you're a nicer guy than me, so God, get on it.
I am, man. I am. Trust me. and
everyone. Hey, next time I'm in LA, you want to go ring shopping? I got a guy.
I think I can find my way through the ring store. I love you guys.
Make your life better.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate your humor. So much fun, and we look forward to having you back on and hearing the episode air on your side of the planet as well.
Yeah, now we have to go back. See, we've been recording using our little task cam. So what's going to happen is now we're going to have to do our intros and outros and figure out where the breaks go.
Yep. And
but that's the job of our producer.
Yes.
Ed Vanderlee will handle that. So.
Make sure it's the best possible. I love it. Love it.
Always is. Our producer Ed Vanderlee is the absolute best. We're on Star Worldwide Networks, and they're incredible.
Oh, so awesome. Well, thank you, Sharon and Hank. I appreciate you both. Have the best day ever, and we'll see you soon, okay?
Thank you.
See you, man.
See you guys.